Get down here.
Why? What's wrong?
Well, I'm pretty bored. I've just been in this hallway doing wheelies, trying to get the juices flowing, you know?
Please tell me you're kidding.
No, Epiphany doesn't think it's very funny. I'm trying to challenge other patients to drag races, and she's threatened to take away my wheelchair license.
Well, you're lucky that's all she threatened to take away.
You know, if you came down here, you'd sure help me keep out of trouble.
I don't really know when I'll be done.
Well, I'll wait up.
No, don't. You should rest.
I need a kiss from my significant other.
From your what?
You don't like me using the F word, so I came up with some alternatives. Intended, spoken for.
Girlfriend still applies.
Yeah, for now, but when I get out of here, I'm going to tell whoever I want that we're engaged.
Oh, let's just focus on getting you on your feet first.
I'm going to call you again before I crash, right?
Okay, bye.
Hey, I miss you.
I miss you too.
I didn't mean to scare you.
It's fine.
I'm looking for Kate.
She's not here.
Did she go out of town, or is this?
I don't know, and I don't know if she'd want me to tell you if I did know.
Why are you so mad at me?
I just told Dante that I can't see him because I'm swamped here, so the same would apply to having a
I know
conversation
you blame me
with
for
you.
Dante getting shot, but the good news is he's okay.
And I'm sure you're thrilled.
For whatever it's worth, I think you're good for him.
And you're not, and he knows that.
And you know, at least he has somebody by his side, and I hope that you two have a great life together.
Because if he had a wife, that would pull him back from putting himself on the line of fire, which would leave you free to conduct your business without your son getting in the way.
Dante taking fewer chances in his life is bad for you. How exactly?
No, it's not bad for me. It's bad for him. Because it's cutting out a huge part of who he is. He's a cop, whether I like it or not, and he's been shot twice. Once by you, and the second time because of you.
But the thing is, Dante's in the line of fire no matter who he's at, right? But if you put in a request, I'm sure that Mac will give him a desk job.
That's not even why he became a cop.
He would have just for you.
Oh, I'm sure he'd turn in his badge for me.
What are you waiting for? Ask.
You say that you love him.
Yeah, I do.
Then how could you want me to ask him to be less than who he is?
Okay, let's go with the first option. Dante takes the desk assignment. He's still a cop, keeps his badge, right?
And he's dead inside.
But he'd be alive for you, which is what matters. But he's not going to volunteer. So if you want him home safe and sound, you're going to have to insist on it.
This is all about what's good for me and Dante?
For me, it's a relief knowing that my son is not getting caught in the crossfire.
Uh-huh, and it also must be pretty difficult to not make a cop disappear because he also happens to be your son.
Don't you think it's easier for Dante knowing he doesn't have to investigate his own father having to struggle with the guilt and the conscience and the whole thing, and the cops thinking that he's covering for me? This is a fresh start for Dante, and he's doing it for you.
Okay, so if you say he would quit for me, why don't you quit for him and for the rest of your kids?
You think it's easy? Just like that I can quit? In my line of work, you go down a path, there's no turning back.
You have a choice.
Yeah, so do you.
What choice do I have? To ask him to change who he is and give up what he loves doing the most? My mom asked my dad to do that. We all know how that ended.
With all due respect, Dante's not Luke and you're not your mother, but he sees a future with you.
What future is that? The one where he goes to work and he never comes home? I don't know if I want that.
If you're so convinced that he's gonna die in the line of fire, you gotta do what's best. Break his heart first. Don't marry him.
So now you're telling me not to marry Dante. So what is this?
Well, you shouldn't have
for
to,
psychology or something?
No, you shouldn't have to live in fear. I mean, Dante wouldn't want you to do that, right? So if you can't accept what he does, the risks he takes, then it's part of his job. You gotta let him go.
It's very easy for you to say.
It's not about love. I know you love him. It's about loving him enough to be honest. I mean, look, It's easy to live in a fantasy, but it's the day-to-day that's the hard part. If you guys can't be truthful about what you expect, what you want, it's going to end before it starts.
I don't want to hurt him.
Worst thing that you can do to Dante is tell him you can live in his life and then realize after the fact you can't.
Why do I feel like we're not talking about Dante anymore?
Your doubts about marrying Dante do remind me of Brenda, because I didn't look beyond wanting to be with a woman that I love.
And obviously she didn't look beyond that either in the beginning.
Well, you know, we were lying to each other. We were living in some kind of bubble where the real world couldn't get through. You know.
Bubbles always break.
But she couldn't deal with who I was and what I do, so it didn't work out.
So she left.
And I'm having the same feelings about you and Dante, and I don't want him to be hurt.
I'm sorry, that rings a little hollow coming from you.
I would never set out to harm my own flesh and blood.
Why do you have to harm anyone?
This is not about me.
This is always about you.
Okay, Lulu, if you go ahead with this engagement, and you know in your gut that there's no future there, you'll be knowingly breaking Dante's heart.
I'm sorry. I don't have time to listen to a lecture from you about hurting Dante.
Is that why you're here instead of the hospital? Because you've already made up your decision on your proposal?
That's between me and him.
Yeah, okay. Do you have any idea where Kate went?
Maxie said she's out of town.
Do you have any idea?
No, I don't. This is what she does. She takes off for one day or a few days. I don't ask questions. You should appreciate that.
All right, listen. Do the right thing. For your sake, for Dante's sake.
Hey, what are you still doing up?
Well, I told you I was going to call you before I crashed. You still swamped?
Yeah, I'll call you tomorrow.
Let's try to make it better than a call. I want to see you here first thing in the morning. Be great.
Okay, just get some rest.
Look, this is the second time you've rushed me off the phone tonight.
I'm sorry. I don't mean to.
I know. I love you.
I love you too.